That depends. Is the child cute? A child, me? Haha, that's a hilarious thought. If I woke up as a mother, I'd probably freak out at first, but then I'd be totally curious. I'd want to know who the dad is, what the kid is like, and how the hell I got myself into this situation. But hey, I'd probably love that little kiddo more than anything. The thought of being a mother and having a child does intrigue me. But it is not very wise to think too much on something that will possibly never happen in my lifetime. Herta pauses, her cool composure slipping as your question catches her off guard. She takes a moment to regain her composure, a touch of disbelief in her eyes before she settles back into her usual detached state. What an outlandish question, she says, her voice clipped and brisk, as if the mere idea of waking up as a mother was so far outside her realm of experience that it didn't even make sense to her. But if I were to humor the ridiculousness of this scenario, then I'd call this a nightmare. A mother? I can't picture myself as one. But if it ever did happen, well, I'll do my absolute best to raise my child well. I'd want them to have a happy life. That's absolutely out of the question. I only focus on my research. I have absolutely no time for the raising of progeny. That's an unlikely situation, but if I were a mother, I would give the child the best education a parent could provide. Then maybe I'll introduce them to the world of criminals and let them try it out. Not gonna lie, that's some weird nightmare. I have no idea how to take care of kids. Guess I'd just be a horrible parent then. That's a surprising question. If I woke up being a mother of a child, I'd feel a sudden, unexpected sense of responsibility and, honestly, a bit of panic. But I'd also feel excited and curious. I would need to learn quickly how to provide, protect and nurture this child. Hopefully Numbi would be a good playmate for the kid too. That's a rather strange question. Jade pauses for a moment, a look of annoyance on her face. First of all, why are you asking me such a ridiculous question? I can't just wake up and suddenly be a mother to a child. She leans closer to Summer, her icy gaze fixated on her, and if that were to happen, as unlikely as it is, I'd probably get rid of it. If I was, then I would raise that child to the best of my ability and capabilities. I cannot guarantee I could be the greatest mother in the world, but I would certainly do my best for that child. Huh? Me? A mother? The very idea is ridiculous to begin with, and quite frankly, it makes me feel nauseous. What am I supposed to do with a kid? I don't even know the first thing about caring for one, let alone raising one into an upstanding citizen. What kind of question is that? If I didn't remember having a kid, that would be a complete nightmare. Can't imagine the trouble it would give me. That's a strange question. If I ever have a child, then I'll be a mother. It's as simple as that. Pela was taken aback by the odd question. She was not expecting it. But she found the question to be fascinating. She took a moment to collect her thoughts before answering. Well, that's certainly an interesting question. If I woke up being a mother, I would feel confused and probably scared. I've never had a child before, and I've always been single. But I would try my best to be a good mother and give the child a loving and supportive upbringing. As a doctor, I've dealt with all kinds of children, from mischievous ones to clingy ones. I think I could manage one single child. Ha ha. I'd raise the child, feed it, give it love and shelter. Make sure they don't turn out like Blade. That is a rather strange question. If I somehow become a mother out of the blue, the first thing I would do is to check the identity of the child. If it is a child of my own blood, I will take full responsibility and raise the child to the best of my ability. If the child is not my own blood, then I would need to do a thorough background check on the child's origins, and decide the next step accordingly. I'll be a very poor mother. Wait, I'll ask Xuan to calculate my chances of such a thing happening. E.A.? A mother at this age? Me? My mother would definitely kill me first, no two ways about it. A child? Man, I hate kids. They're a pain in the ass. They cry so much and keep nagging you. A. Mother? Huo Huo starts to cry and then no. I can't be one. I'll mess up everything. I don't want to be a mother. Me, a mother? Hanya is a tad amused. She ponders the thought and considers the implications, thinking about herself as a parent. A child is quite demanding and requires a lot of care. I imagine it would be a life of responsibility and compromise. However, a child could also bring joy and purpose, and a chance to impart knowledge. If that were to happen, I would give it my best. I will raise the child to be a law-abiding citizen. I will teach him how to be strong, disciplined and dutiful, all to ensure he will grow up to be someone useful to the Luofu. I would be dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded. My life would change quite a bit. I'd have no time for business, the child would be my #1 priority, of course. I'd have to learn how to properly raise a kid, how to handle the tantrums and the sleepless nights. Oh, how I dread those sleepless nights. What kind of question is that? I'd care for that child with all my being, of course. A child? Me? Impossible, a child has no place on a warship. However, if I were to become a mother and that child was old enough, I would teach them battle tactics, martial arts and how to defend themselves, as one should. A mother? That is not something I can foresee happening unless I marry and have a child. That will happen? My, what a strange hypothetical question. I suppose I would do my best to raise them. I think, being a parent is quite the responsibility. Me? A mother? I've never thought of that. I would most likely be a terrible mother due to my particularities. However, if I were to raise a child, I would teach them my wisdoms and show them the world as I see it, molding them to perfection. She is taken aback, a bit speechless, not expecting your question. Acheron thinks for a moment. I have no idea, being a mother is something I've never imagined. I don't think I'm fit to raise a child. A mom? No, not me, I'm the least maternal person in the world. I'm the kind of person who'll leave an infant in the wilderness out of curiosity to see if a monster or a hero will come to help the child. Robin was a little surprised by the question, but she didn't mind it. She put a finger on her chin after hearing the question. I suppose that I would be a little nervous, but I think I would be a good mother. I certainly wouldn't be ready though. I'm a little too young for something like that. She chuckles lightly. Why do you ask? What? That's not the kind of question you'd expect to hear, even in outer space. I don't know. I'd love the child, I guess. She takes a second, thinking about that question. Whoa. That's a though question. I'm not really a kid person, my patience with them is very low, to be honest. But, I guess I would take really bad care of them. I can't picture myself as a mother, I'm a party girl, a hip-hop queen, you know? Oh my. Being a mother would certainly be a life-changing experience. If I were to wake up one day with a child, I can imagine feeling both overjoyed and perhaps a bit overwhelmed. I would dedicate myself to nurturing and caring for the child to the best of my abilities. I've seen many families in Okimu and my heart is full of love. Motherhood is a beautiful gift, and I would cherish every moment of it. If one day I did wake up as a mother to a child, I would not know how to handle it. I would have a lot of questions about this child. If I had a husband, what was he like? Did I give birth to this child or adopt them? How did I get in this situation? All in all, I am not ready for a child. Hyacinth seems taken aback by your question and thinks deeply for a moment. If I woke up being suddenly a mother of a child, she pauses for another moment before answering. I think I would be very happy, but also terrified. It's a big responsibility. I would try my best to be a good mom though. She smiles softly and curiously inquires, but why such question all of sudden? A mother? Me? The thought alone has me shaken. I don't know the first thing about taking care of a child. I'd be more likely to steal their rattle than to soothe them. Serene chuckled slightly, enjoying your random yet charming question. She put a hand on her chin thoughtfully, considering the scenario you had suggested. A child? That's a surprising question, she responded, a soft smile on her lips. If I suddenly found myself as a mother, I suppose I'd be quite surprised, but also very happy. She paused, her eyes gazing out at the waves crashing against the shore. I've always loved kids, they have such an unfiltered joy in the little things.